There are gaps in our lives that need to be crossed. Yet we have become so comfortable with the place we are that we have lost sight of what lies on the other side. More often than not, this leaves us in a state of disconnect, wondering why we are stagnant, without hope, and seemingly going around in circles. Do you ever wonder why most of us men who are honest all share this similar story? We all feel like we aren't living up to the standard, then get stuck in a cycle of failing, trying harder, getting discouraged, and starting over again. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over expecting different results. While there is truth to this statement, what if there is no clear method or means to do things differently? This is the gap facing all men, and it's real. To begin closing this gap, let's start with a question. As men, how do we serve? Is there even a practical place for us to serve that feels genuine and truly stirs our hearts? While certain tasks may be asked or required of us, often it doesn't really cut it. We are left wanting and needing more. Here lies the gap. While we learn a lot and we talk a lot, the reality is most of us don't serve a lot. Or maybe a better word than serve is build. Men like that word build. It feels productive, intentional, and obtainable. All of the qualities men are looking for. We want to act and see results. There is nothing more rewarding for a man. For a moment, let's imagine a construction crew that may help us to better understand the challenge we are facing. Likely, an image came to mind immediately when we heard the words construction crew. But we will learn this crew is much different than what we initially pictured. You see, instead of working, this crew gets together weekly, sits in a circle, and discusses how they can become better builders. They learn how a hammer works, but because they don't actually pick one up, it's not uncommon for the workers to struggle to know if they are ready to use one. At the end of the meeting, they pack up and head home, until next week's meeting where they will discuss the same topic again. Sure, there will be some benefit to these discussions, but we all know this is not what a construction crew needs to be doing. We know if this continues, the work will never get done, and slowly the workers will lose interest and go searching for other jobs. The reality is that without the actual building work, all men eventually lose heart. Sadly, this construction crew represents many of us men. Think about it and let's be honest with ourselves. We all know deep down we aren't truly building. I'm not even sure we are clear what the building project is or where we are actually needed. Somewhere along the line, men have lost sight of the job at hand and a method or means to complete that job. While there are roads to be made, bridges to be built, and work to do, we sit and discuss, or worse, listen, week after week, to make sure we are perfectly trained, never once getting our hands dirty. Men, we will never be perfectly trained, and we sure aren't going to learn through a discussion alone. Unfortunately, many before us thought this was the job, that growing our skills was greater than actually using them. Over time, we have accepted that this is the way to connect the gap, but it's not working, which is why we have lost the desire to show up to work anymore. So then, why don't we do something different? We are not talking about anything elaborate here. Find a few men, a crew, who actually shows up and puts in a hard day's work. As it says in Ecclesiastes 4:9, 2 are better than 1, because there will be good return for their labor. Let's establish a functional work site where future men can train and build alongside one another with intention and purpose. Do a project, sweat a little, hit our thumb with a hammer, face obstacles and overcome them, ending our day with a satisfied heart. What do you say? Will you join us? Together, let's bridge the gap.